So I'm gonna try pretty hard to articulate this. I've been in the early hours of the morning, when I'm like half in sleep, things make sense, you know? Like something will be clarified, and it'll be so simple and clear. And then I wake up later and I'm like, wow, what was that? It was so good. What was that? And this one is largely on the same topic as the last video. And I feel this is important. This is important to me. We're learning how to hold parallel truths. That's the phrase, the term that came through this morning that I found interesting. Parallel truths. Truths that at the surface don't match up, but we're both holding them. I'm holding mine, you're holding yours. So they end up harmonizing. They can, in fact, and do harmonize. They can just run alongside each other. And this is something that I didn't quite realize that I had been practicing, learning about for the past year and a half, 2 years. Ever since I kind of felt like I needed to stop reading tarot, and I did have some experiences around that illustrated to me personally that the way that I was doing this, the way that I was using this practice was not the way that I really wanted to. It was not the way that really felt good. There were some sort of boundaries being crossed there. And I needed to fully step away from that to learn more about what it means to cross an energetic boundary, what actually is appropriate. And I'm not a fan of that word, but what I mean by it is not that it's dirty, not that it's shameful, but that it doesn't feel good. How do I want to treat people energetically in a way that feels good? And ultimately what I have really come to terms with that meaning is minding my own damn business. Leaving everybody the fuck alone. Stop trying to help. Stop trying to offer advice. When you are trying to help, you are creating a problem. This is what I'm learning. Again, I'm talking about this for myself. Everything that I talk about in these videos on this channel obviously has to be for me, about me. And I strongly encourage anyone who happens to see this, run this through your own filter. Take absolutely nothing I say as, just plain truth. Like, it's truth for my experience. It is absolutely, I am endeavoring to be the honest reporter of my own experience, but I can only talk about my experience, and that's what this is about. Personal truth. Owning subjective truth creates this, greater objectivity. So when I am standing in my truth, what is true for me, what I not believe, what I have seen, what I've experienced, what feels true to me, because we get to discern that, we get to decide that, and it does shift. What feels true for me is my truth in this moment. And I am guided by desire deeper into that space. And my truth, my experience, has absolutely nothing to do with anyone else's. does not ever need to be believed. It doesn't need to be agreed with. It doesn't need to be understood. It does not need to be validated by a single outside source. Nor do any of us need to validate someone else's truth. That is self-contained. That is self-derived, self-determined. And it is important that we learn to stand in that space. This is what self-sovereignty is. The ownership and validation of your own experience, of what is true for you. What do you choose? What do you want to be true? What feels good? What feels good to you is what is true for you. Like, this isn't some trick. Of course, then you start to learn about good feeling, and you start to pull apart what actually is good feeling, what actually does feel good to me. Are there things that I have said felt good to me that actually just felt like moving away from pain or moving away from fear? Like it wasn't a pure good feeling there. And I don't mean either that discerning something that's in the opposite direction of what is feared is an incorrect navigation. That has more to do with actions. This is where it gets tricky. It's nuanced, and it's not one size fits all. It can even change moment to moment. I don't think I'm doing a great job of expressing this, but what I am trying to say is that everyone's journey is their own, right? And so the truth that you are experiencing and expressing at any given point in time is valid for you. And it is not my place or anyone's place to try to change that truth. That's the no-no. That's you're interfering with a process. You're interfering with a journey that someone has chosen to undergo. You're interfering with the natural progression of growth. And that's done from a place of fear, ultimately. That happens from a place of fear. That means you're not trusting this person to undergo their own transformation, to have their own journey, their own experience. You're not trusting it. And everything is reflected. If you're not trusting them, you're not trusting yourself. It has to come back to self. All of the energy, we put all of this energy out into the world, into the environment, all of these feelers. I firmly believe this. Even people who don't consider themselves empathic and they don't know that they're taking information in all the time, they haven't become aware of it, so it's not overwhelming to them because they don't have the awareness of that. But it's still happening. It's still happening. They're just interpreting it in a more intellectual way. There's more filter, right? There's more of a filter just blocking the energy from being visible, palpable. But we're still all taking stuff in all the time and sending stuff out all the time. Sending out our feelers, feeling into the environment. What I'm noticing, and I've noticed in myself, and what I used to think was like maybe just a me thing, or maybe just a sensitive person thing, or whatever, was that anywhere that I went, I was in the environment. The feelers were out all the time, feeling everything, feeling into the plants, feeling into other people driving on the road, the cars, like trying to predict, trying to feel what's out there so that I could predict and prevent, thinking that was how I protected myself. But what I'm realizing is all that's doing is putting up a wall actually, like, it's the opposite. It seems like you're connecting, it seems like you're integrating. It's the opposite, because you're not trusting. You're not trusting the environment. This is where the connection happens. Being fully, entirely, exclusively in the self. Letting everything else fucking be. So that's what it is. It's a form of control. Trying to feel into everything is a violation. It's a peeping, it's a spying into energy that isn't mine. And furthermore, it's in an attempt to manipulate it. Ultimately, to manipulate the conditions. To feel safer. If I can predict that guy might, pull out in front of me and cut me off because I think he's angry, what am I doing there? First of all, I am putting my fingers where my fingers don't belong. Okay, I am all up in somebody's business without their consent, without their permission. And this is a huge thing that I learned from reading tarot. And a lot of spaces encourage this. You're learning about feeling energy. Just go out and start feeling it. Poke around in people's spaces. Poke around in their minds. Poke around in their aura, whatever. Not cool, actually. And again, I'm not telling anybody what to do. I did this. I'm not saying it's like... I don't want to prevent anyone from having the learning experience. This was a part of the learning experience for me. So again, even witnessing that happening is like, I have to let this happen. I have to let this happen. Unless somebody explicitly asks you, and even then you don't tell them what to do, you tell them your own perspective. So this is my experience, this is how it feels to me, but you do you. You do you. We're all learning, we're all exploring. So even to witness somebody doing that, to feel somebody doing that, that is their learning opportunity. This is them learning. Somebody feeling about in my energy, I get to teach them by saying no. I get to teach them by putting up the block and sending that back. This is how I'm teaching now, the way that it was taught to me. Having that energy flicked back to you. This you're pulling off the suckers going, no, this is not how we do it. This isn't how we do it. We don't just stick our fingers where they don't belong. We don't just start feeling about in somebody else's space. And this is how I learned. So, again, nothing has gone wrong here. But this is what I mean by not appropriate. It's not like shameful. It's not judgment. It's just like, look, this isn't what you think. You think, that this is helpful in some way. It's really not. It's actually a violation of privacy. It's a violation of free will. And so again, if I'm talking about this guy on the road that I'm trying to feel into and I feel like he's angry and he's going to do something, what am I doing there? Number one, violating privacy. Number two, I'm casting a projection. I'm literally casting a spell. I'm projecting the image of angry person who's going to lash out at me over somebody. And that doesn't feel good. I can promise you, that doesn't feel good. To have a character projected over you of this is who you are, this is how you're going to behave. And it can influence, if you're not paying attention, that energy can have influence and it can steer your behavior. You can become that character. It happens all the time. And it's not a nice thing. It's not a nice feeling. It doesn't feel good. Again, this is what I'm talking about. Is like, this is not a morality thing. This is not an ethics thing. This is not some sort of behavior, control. It's recognizing how do I want to be treated energetically? Same as, because it is all fundamentally energetic, and that turns into other behavior, the surface level behavior. How do I want my energy to be respected? Am I engaging in that same form of respect out in the world with other people? Just because I am in the space where I'm aware and I'm sensitive and I can do this, does that mean that I should do this? Would I like it if other people did this to me? Does it feel good? Does it feel good to have my energy, touched without permission? Does it feel good to have a character projected upon me because of a mental prediction, that was attempted there? That ultimately, again, is coming from a place of fear. Or does it feel better to be left alone? To have the space to be myself, to not play a character, to not have a role projected over me, to not be told who I am and how I feel, right? To get to discern that for myself, how I'm feeling moment to moment. To give permission to invite someone in. Consent. This is about consent. I have to acknowledge, I have to take responsibility for the violations of consent that I have committed. And again, not a shaming thing. This is not a shaming thing. This is not an embarrassing thing. I'm not a bad person. I'm not saying I even did bad things. Everything's okay, but I have to acknowledge the behaviors that I have enacted that are not the way that I want to be treated, so that I can stop doing that. And that I'm realizing, just that's why I stopped reading tarot. That's why I've had this full inward turn of I need to disconnect from people. I need to stop. I need to get out of the environment. I need to learn to be in my own space, my own energy exclusively, and stop feeling into everyone and everything else all the time. That's not healthy. That's not motivated by love. Doesn't matter what stories are being told. That's fear. That is not trust. I am not trusting. When I am fully in myself, I am saying to everyone and everything else, you know what, you're good. You're good. I don't need to control you. I don't need to manipulate you. You're good, and actually I'm good. I don't need anything from you. I'm good. You are free. Do as you please. Be as you like. I'm good. I am safe to just be me. I am safe to just be here. And then I'm here more fully. When I'm out there, I'm not actually here. I can't be. I can't split my energy like that. You stretch, you get thin. You lose your sense of presence because you're not fully here in one space, in yourself. And so a part of staying in yourself is owning your own truth, your own experience, and again, not interfering with anybody else's. Somebody else's truth is their truth. Whatever they say to me, okay. Okay, I don't have to agree with it. It doesn't need to be my truth. I don't need to sing that song, right? That's your tune. Great. Doesn't need to be my tune. In fact, it's perfect. Here's the next thing. It's perfect that we were all having our own experience of the truth. That's okay. That's more than just okay. That's excellent. In owning our own truths and choosing not to meddle with the truths of others, to allow them to be what they are, to allow them to expand and progress as they do naturally, we naturally harmonize with one another. So I can feel life doesn't want to be telling one singular, identical truth across the board. That too is a part of why there's this foundational, there's underlying truth, and then there's all the truth that emerges from that is personal, unique to you, to your experience. And it can overlap. It can overlap with other people, and that's beautiful. But it's like we're all creating this melody, right? So there's the drone note. There's the drone note. That's the foundation. But you know what? Here's the amazing thing. Every other note has the capacity to harmonize with the drone note. There is space for every single note, every semitone to exist in harmony with the drone note. That's the base truth. So those don't need to be modified. Whatever your note is, or series of notes, just sing it. Sing your song, speak your truth, own it as yours, and don't worry about anybody else's. Even if you hear something, you hear somebody else's truth, and to you that feels incongruous, that feels unharmonious, it's unharmonious with your system. That doesn't mean it's not harmonious with nature, with the rest of the world. It's finding a way. You can hear that truth and find it dysfunctional. Guess what? It's not yours. It's not yours. And it is not your place, I'm saying again to myself, it's not your place to meddle with that. That truth is exactly how it's meant to be in this moment. That melody is exactly what it's meant to be in this moment. That person is finding their pitch. They're finding their pitch. Let them. If you just sing over them, if you're just going, no, it's this, la, match me, match this note, la, like, can you hear how, first of all, fucking annoying that is? Like, leave me alone. You're singing over my shit, and now I can't hear myself. If you're just projecting your note over me, it doesn't matter how angelic a note it is. It's not going to match my system, and it's gonna drown out my own voice, which is what I'm learning to hear. I'm training my ear. And so I need to be able to sing off key. I need to be able to experiment with this. So, yeah, again, even like meeting a person, hearing a truth from them, even if that truth doesn't feel really authentic to them, even if it doesn't really feel like their truth, that's still something they're exploring and experiencing right now. They are on the journey. They are learning how to express authentic truth. They have to express inauthentic truth in order to get there. I've been there. We've all done this. And so again, it's not our place to call that out. What we can do and are encouraged to do is to stand in our own truth. Stand there, feel what you feel. So if your truth is this person is full of shit, fine. But that doesn't mean you then take any sort of action towards them to try to change that. This is where they are. If that's how you feel, fine, that's your truth. But this is where they are, accept where they are. And then you can step back and see they're on this journey. They're on this journey that we're all on. Learning self-sovereignty, learning authenticity, honesty. And we have to be allowed to move there at our own pace, to make our own progress. We do not help each other by saying, oh, no, here's where you're going wrong. You know, you're not being authentic. I can tell because I can read your energy, which you didn't give me permission to do. That's not healthy, and it's not kind. It's not helpful. And this is what I've had to learn. And why I don't really read tarot unless there's a strong compulsion towards it, that is like something just needs to come through, or unless someone has explicitly requested that from me. And even in that circumstance, then I make clear to them, I'm having an experience. My reading these cards is my opening myself to receive a message, and it is my duty then to faithfully and as accurately as possible relay that message to you, to express my experience to you. But then it's on you It's on you to decide how this feels to you. You know, to take or leave any of this information, that is totally up to you and your own interpretation and the way that it feels. It needs to be tested by you, your energy, your discernment. If the whole thing sounds like bullshit, then the whole thing is bullshit. Let it be that. Don't take this as like I'm delivering a message from God. That's not what's happening. I'm telling you how I feel, and you get to decide if that resonates with you right now or not. And whatever you decide is perfect. But, you know, a lot of people don't really like to hear that. And then they go, what, I'm going to pay you money for this? I'm going to pay you money to tell me something that I disagree with? Like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. That's why I kind of got off board with the whole charging thing. Of, yeah, if you feel like pitching in, then pitch in. If you don't, it's all kosher. I opened myself up to that. And that's also why I don't do it very often, because whatever. Anyway, I am late. No surprise. I need to go inside. But I think that was everything I really needed to say, wanted to say. Standing in our own truth, owning it, allows the space for everyone to develop that same self-sovereignty, to be that for themselves, to be their own world, their own universe internally. And to sing their own song and to hear what it is that they're singing when we're not singing over them. And so when you let someone stand in their truth and sing their song to you and you don't sing over it, they have a better chance of hearing themselves. And if there is something there that in this moment they might like to change, now they have the space to do so, because you're not drowning it out, because you're not trying to manipulate it. Now they might have a sparking of more awareness of, oh, you know, this part of my truth suddenly doesn't feel so good to me. And I'm recognizing that you're neither supporting nor denying this. You're just like letting this exist and saying, okay, that's how you feel. And in that space, I have more curiosity and I feel safer in this space of non-judgment. There's no pressure here. It's non-polarized, right? Now in this space, I feel safer actually exploring what it is that I'm singing, what it is that I'm saying. And this note here is kind of standing out to me. What is your song? I'm just curious, you know, like sing me your song. And then you have a space to express your truth that, again, is not a projection. It's not in an attempt to manipulate or change somebody. It's just, okay, this is how I feel. This is how I experience the world. And now a person has the opportunity to maybe shift some of their notes. Maybe not to match yours, but to a space that feels better to them. And now suddenly your songs sound cooler together. They're still not the same. They're still not the same song, but maybe you overlap, you know? You have this satisfying overlap in melody where like a couple notes in the middle are the same, or it harmonizes. Everything harmonizes. Staying in your own truth, staying out of the environment, trusting yourself to just be you and just be in you. That's how harmonization happens. That's how you are able to be integrated seamlessly into the flow of the whole. By being you. Just you. Fully. Authentically. That's it. There's a whole other thing that I'm not going to get to. I'm just going to drop it in quickly. Crap. I was kind of supposed to mention this. Well, it's fine. Gratitude. Don't force gratitude. Don't force it. I know there's all of this stuff about gratitude is the attitude and the energy of gratitude, and it keeps you open and yada, 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 and that, whatever. Like, it's a wonderful space to be in. Don't force it. Don't force yourself to be in gratitude. If it's not happening, it's not happening. Authenticity is, it's that. Like, strive for that. If the gratitude and the generosity isn't there, it's not there. It's okay. It doesn't need to be. Don't force it. Don't fucking force it. Trust it. The pipes are being replaced. So if gratitude feels harder to get to, in particular right now, or at some near future moment, if gratitude and generosity feel more challenging to get to, if you don't have anything to give, nothing is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Don't force it. If you have nothing to give, you have nothing to give. That's okay. You're safe there. There is something to do with the pipes are being upgraded in that regard. We've been, trying to give, thinking that was what we needed to do, but we've depleted. We've depleted in that process because the internal pipes have been teeny tiny, and we haven't been able to fill ourselves up fast enough to then give at the rate that we're trying to give. It needs to stop. It needs to pause. The giving, the gratitude, the generosity is being put on pause. The pipes are being worked on, so the water main has been turned off, right? That is not currently flowing. It's okay. It's not a problem. You can relax. Anything, anyone, any situation that falls away in the absence of that giving, in the absence of your gratitude and generosity, doesn't need to be there. It can just fall off. Wasn't needed there in the first place. So anything that leaves in the time of your non-giving, your non-gratitude, let it leave. The stuff that wants to be there, the stuff that respects you, that values you in the fullness of your being and experience, will stay. And of course, new stuff will come around too. But yeah, that's the last part. The pipes are being upgraded. Gratitude is being shut down temporarily, which doesn't mean you're never going to feel it for anything. But in general, if you feel like you're having a hard time stepping into gratitude, if you feel predominantly frustrated and annoyed and like you don't have anything to give, then that's where you're at. That's it. And this is different from the mental character as well. That is don't let it become an identity where it can slip into this space that is everyone takes everything from me and I'm a victim. That's an identity. But to just be in this moment saying, I feel depleted. I feel depleted. I have nothing to give you. I don't feel gratitude. I feel frustration. I feel exhaustion. Then this is just what I am feeling in this moment. That is, don't let it be mentally turned into character identity. Just let it be the experience. That's okay. Own it. This is what it is right now, and come back to the knowledge that you are safe. Again, you don't need to try to change this. You don't need to go into the environment to find an answer, to get away from it. You are safe to be here now. You are safe to be you now. Just you. Exclusively you. You don't need to people please. You don't need to manipulate. You don't need to dominate. People pleasing is just an upside down version of domination that I have practiced a lot in my life. So we're done with that. We don't need to do that. Get out of the environment. Get into your body any way that you can. Focus on your hands. Push energy into your hands. You're safe to be here. That's what I got. I love you. Take it easy.